The first time Marcus Turner picked up a camera, he saw what others missed. The subtle tension in a stranger's jaw, light dancing across unwashed windows, a world of stories hiding in plain sight. But in the gleaming halls of Westbrook Media, talent wasn't enough. Not when you came from nothing, spoke too softly, and wore the wrong clothes. Some voices demand to be heard, even when every door seems closed. Before we dive into the story, comment below where in the world you're watching from. Marcus Turner's hands trembled as he straightened his second-hand tie. The Westbrook Media lobby gleamed with impossible perfection, all glass and chrome and people who belonged. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating dust motes that danced above marble floors. Even the air felt expensive. First-day jitters? A security guard smiled kindly as he handed over a visitor's badge. That obvious? Marcus managed, clipping the badge to his wrinkled blazer. The plastic looked out of place against the fabric, just like him. You'll do fine. Just remember, everyone here puts their pants on one leg at a time. Marcus nodded, not quite believing it. His reflection in the elevator doors showed a lanky 26-year-old with unruly dark hair and eyes that noticed too much. The community college degree in his portfolio weighed like an anchor against the Ivy League credentials that surely filled these halls. The elevator doors opened to the 12th floor, photography department. You must be Turner. A woman with a sharp bob and sharper eyes extended her hand. Diane Wells, department coordinator, you're late. My train, save it. The meeting started 5 minutes ago. Marcus followed her clicking heels down a hallway lined with award-winning photographs, each image worth more than his entire camera kit. Each photographer's name engraved on a plaque that screamed legacy. The conference room fell silent as he entered. 8 faces turned to study him, most with mild curiosity, one with unmistakable disdain. Finally, said James Harrington, photography director and industry legend. His silver hair and tailored suit projected authority without effort. Our new junior assistant has arrived. Sorry, take a seat. We're discussing the Wilson portfolio. Marcus slid into the only empty chair directly across from Vanessa Cole. Her reputation preceded her, youngest senior photographer in Westbrook history, darling of the New York art scene, and notorious for her cutting remarks. Her platinum blonde hair was pulled into a severe bun, her blue eyes coolly assessing. As I was saying, she continued, the Coastal series lacks impact. We need something edgier for the summer issue. What about urban contrasts? Suggested an editor. The magazine hasn't done a proper city piece in months. Harrington nodded thoughtfully. Good point. Any thoughts, team? Marcus saw an opening. He'd been documenting his neighborhood for years. The changing faces, the gentrification battles, the resilience. I actually have some work that might... I don't believe anyone was asking the assistant, Vanessa interrupted, not even glancing. His way. Perhaps you could focus on taking notes rather than offering creative direction on your first day? Heat rushed to Marcus's face. A few colleagues shifted uncomfortably, but no one contradicted her. Quite right, Harrington agreed. Turner, coffee run, black for me, lattes for everyone else, details on the kitchen whiteboard. Yes, sir, Marcus mumbled, gathering his notebook as Vanessa smirked. In the hallway, he pressed his forehead against the cool wall and breathed deeply. One humiliation down, countless more to go. Turner, where are those contact sheets? Harrington's voice boomed across the office 2 weeks later. Marcus hurried over, manila folder in hand. Just finished, sir. I included some alternative crops that might work better for... Did anyone ask for alternatives? Harrington flipped through the sheets with barely a glance. Just follow instructions next time. Yes, sir. Sorry. The morning staff meeting was starting, and Marcus took his usual spot against the wall, not quite invisible but firmly in the background. The charity gala shoot is this weekend, Harrington announced. Vanessa will lead, with Craig and Jenna assisting. Vanessa flipped through her calendar with an affected sigh. I'd rather not waste my Saturday shooting predictable poses of rich people holding champagne glasses. The Westbrook Foundation is our biggest client, Harrington reminded. Her? They specifically requested you. Fine, she conceded. But I'll need adequate support, not the interns. Marcus saw another chance. I'm free this weekend, sir. I could help with equipment setup. The silence that followed made him immediately regret speaking. Vanessa's laugh cut through the room. "Oh, that's adorable. Have you ever even handled professional lighting for an event like this?" Before Marcus could answer, she continued, addressing the room rather than him. "Can you imagine?" "Excuse me, Mrs. Rothschild. Could you hold that? Pose while I Google how to adjust aperture." Several colleagues chuckled. Even Harrington's mouth twitched. "Enthusiasm noted, Turner," Harrington said. "But this requires experience. Stay in your lane for now." The meeting moved on, leaving Marcus's offer hanging in the air like an embarrassing odor. Rachel Chen, the design lead, shot him a sympathetic glance from across the table. Later, by the coffee machine, she approached. "Don't let Vanessa get to you. She treats everyone like that." "Not everyone," Marcus said, watching Vanessa laugh with Harrington across the office. "Just those she doesn't consider worth her time." "Got any plans for the weekend?" Rachel asked, changing the subject. "Just shooting, always shooting." "Anything good?" Marcus hesitated. "Street photography mostly. Nothing fancy." "I'd like to see." "Sometime, maybe," he said, knowing he'd probably never show her. Not after today. The annual Westbrook Excellence in Media Awards was the event of the season. Everyone who mattered would be there. Clients, executives, celebrated photographers from around the world. And somehow, Marcus had been assigned to work it. "Not as a photographer," Harrington clarified when delivering the news. "We need someone to manage the check-in table and assist with name tags." "Yes, sir," Marcus replied, swallowing his disappointment. The grand ballroom of the Riverside Hotel sparkled under crystal chandeliers. Ice sculptures caught the light, casting rainbow prisms across white tablecloths. Staff in black tie moved silently between guests, offering champagne and hors d'oeuvres on silver trays. Marcus stood behind the reception desk in his only suit, a navy blue number that had belonged to his father. It was slightly too short in the sleeves and too wide in the shoulders, but it was the best he could do. "Name, please," he asked mechanically as each guest approached. "James Arlington Vogue, Susan Mercer, Harper's, William and Patricia Donovan, Westbrook Board." He handed out name badges and smiled until his face hurt, all while watching the real action from the periphery. Vanessa worked the room like she owned it, her red gown drawing every eye as she laughed and charmed. "Quite the spectacle, isn't it?" A voice startled him from his thoughts. An older man with kind eyes stood before him, no name badge needed. Lawrence Evans, the founder of Westbrook, media and legendary photojournalist, whose work had defined generations. "Mr. Evans, I'm sorry I didn't see you there." Marcus fumbled with the guest list. "No need for that, son. I know who I am." His eyes crinkled with amusement. "But who are you?" "Marcus Turner, sir, junior assistant in photography." "Ah, and you'd rather be in there than out here, I imagine." Marcus hesitated. "I'm happy to help however I'm needed." Evans laughed. "Political answer, but I saw you watching the room with a photographer's eye. You see things, don't you?" Before Marcus could respond, Harrington approached with Vanessa in tow. "Lawrence, there you are. Come, there are people dying to speak with you." Evans nodded but turned back to Marcus. "We'll continue this conversation another time, Mr. Turner." As they walked away, Marcus overheard Vanessa's stage whisper, "Who was that you were talking to?" "Just the help," Harrington replied. "Nothing important." The words shouldn't have hurt after weeks of similar dismissals, but they did. Marcus clenched his jaw and focused on the remaining names on his list. The evening wore on. Awards were presented, speeches were given, applause rose and fell like predictable tides. At midnight, Harrington took the stage for the final presentation. "Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. The Westbrook Award for Innovation in Visual Storytelling goes to..." A dramatic pause. "Vanessa Cole, for her series Silent Margins." The room erupted. Vanessa glided to the stage, feigning surprise despite the confidence in her stride. "I'm honored," she began, though hardly shocked. "Silent Margins speaks for those on society's edges, the voices we've trained ourselves not to hear." Marcus nearly choked on the irony. Her authentic portraits of struggling neighborhoods had been carefully staged with models in designer distressed clothing. He'd seen the shoots, catering tables just out of frame, assistants spritzing sweat onto foreheads, dirt artfully applied to cheeks. Her speech continued. I challenge each of you to find stories that matter, to see what others miss. To elevate truth above comfort. The crowd rose in standing ovation. Marcus remained seated, fingers itching for his camera. Not to capture this moment of glory, but to document its hollow center. Later, as staff cleared glasses and swept confetti, Marcus gathered abandoned programs. The hotel's grand staircase made a perfect frame for the empty ballroom below. He pulled out his personal camera, an old Nikon he'd saved 2 years to buy. What do you think you're doing? Vanessa's voice cracked like a whip. Marcus lowered the camera. Just a personal shot. The lighting was interesting. Personal? She strode closer, the scent of expensive perfume and champagne surrounding her. Nothing here is personal. This is a Westbrook event. I'm off the clock now. The event's over. That's not your call to make. She held out her hand. Let me see. See what? The camera. Hand it over. No. The word surprised them both. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. Excuse me? It's my personal equipment. I don't have to show you anything. Harrington, she called across the room. We have a situation. The photography director approached. Annoyance. Evident in every step. What now? Your assistant is taking unauthorized photographs of the venue, she reported. Probably to sell to tabloids or post on some sad little blog. I asked to see his camera, and he refused. Harrington turned to Marcus. Is this true? I was taking a personal shot after hours, Marcus explained. For my own collection. Nothing to do with Westbrook. Let me see the camera, Turner. Sir, with all respect, this is my private property. And this is my event. Camera. Now. The room had gone quiet. Other staff members paused in their cleanup to watch. Rachel stood frozen by the bar, concern etched on her face. Marcus's pulse pounded in his ears. Everything in him screamed to back down, to apologize, to preserve what little standing he had. Instead, he straightened his shoulders. No, he said clearly. If you want to fire me, that's your prerogative, but I won't hand over my camera. Vanessa smirked. Well, there's your answer, James. Insubordination on top of potential corporate espionage. I'm not a spy, Marcus said through gritted teeth. I'm a photographer. A photographer? Vanessa laughed. Working the check-in desk, please. That's fair enough, came a voice from behind them. Lawrence Evans approached, hands in his pockets, amusement playing across his weathered face. Lawrence, your timing is perfect, Harrington said. We have a staff member refusing direct instructions. So I heard. Evans studied Marcus. You're quite protective of your work, Mr. Turner. It's all I have, sir. I seriously doubt that. Evans held out his hand. May I? Unlike with the others, Marcus felt no hesitation. He handed over his camera. Evans examined it with expert hands. Nikon D750. Older model, but excellent in low light. He clicked through a few images. Interesting perspectives. You shoot from unusual angles. Photography is about finding new ways to see familiar things, Marcus replied quietly. Indeed it is, Evans continued browsing. Harrington, you should look at these. The photography director reluctantly accepted the camera, his expression shifting from irritation to surprise as he scrolled. These are unexpected, he admitted. Vanessa grabbed the camera. Her face flushed as she flipped through the images. They're amateur at best. Composition is unorthodox. Lighting choices make no sense. That's exactly what makes them compelling, Evans countered. When did you start photographing, Mr. Turner? When I was 12. My mother cleaned houses for wealthy families. One of them threw out an old film camera. She brought it home for me. Self-taught then. Community college courses, then YouTube tutorials, books from the library. Practice mostly. Evans reclaimed the camera and handed it back to Marcus. I'd like to see your portfolio. The real one, not whatever sanitized version you showed to get hired. Lawrence, Harrington interjected, surely this can wait for a more appropriate time. What's inappropriate about now? Evans countered. We're all here. We have a curious situation. And I suspect Mr. Turner has been waiting quite some time for someone to actually see his work. The silence that followed, confirmed his assumption. "My portfolio is digital," Marcus said. "I keep it on my phone." "Perfect. Show us." Under the ballroom's fading lights, Marcus opened his portfolio app. The first image appeared, a homeless man sleeping beside a luxury storefront, the mannequin's shadow falling across his face like a mask. "Next," Evans prompted. A series of subway portraits followed. Working hands, tired eyes, intimate moments stolen between strangers. "These are from your neighborhood?" Evans asked. "Yes, South Bronx. I've been documenting gentrification there for 3 years." More images. A demolition site juxtaposed with children playing. An elderly woman sweeping her stoop as developers surveyed the block. A community garden's last stand. Against bulldozers. "You have a narrative thread," Evans noted. "A perspective." "The camera sees what you show it," Marcus said. "I try to show what matters." The final series showcased the Westbrook Charity Gala, the very event he'd been denied. "Permission to photograph." "How did you—" Harrington began. "I went on my own time, stood outside with the paparazzi, except I wasn't shooting celebrities." The images revealed what the official photographers had missed: security guards sharing cigarettes during break, kitchen staff enjoying leftover hors d'oeuvres, a socialite's mask of composure slipping when she thought no one was watching, and there, a perfect capture of Vanessa posing attendees like mannequins, irritation evident despite her professional smile. "You had no right," she hissed. "It's public space," Marcus replied, "and you're the one who talks about elevating truth above comfort." Her face flushed darker. Lawrence Evans laughed, a genuine, delighted sound that echoed through the emptying ballroom. "Well, Harrington," he said, "seems your junior assistant has been hiding quite a talent." "Apparently so." Harrington's voice was strained. "I would have shown you my work," Marcus said quietly, "if anyone had asked." "Then consider this me asking," Evans replied. "I want your Silent Margins series, the real one, not the staged version, on my desk Monday morning. We'll run it as the summer feature." "What?" Vanessa stepped forward. "Lawrence, with all due respect, you cannot be serious. This amateur couldn't possibly—" "I founded this company to showcase authentic vision," Evans cut her off, "not to create an echo chamber of similar perspectives. Marcus sees things differently. That's precisely what we need." Harrington seemed to age 10 years in 10 seconds. "Of course, Lawrence. Whatever you think best." "Good." Evans clapped Marcus on the shoulder. "Don't be late Monday and wear whatever you want. The suit doesn't make the photographer." As Evans departed, the remaining staff scattered to resume cleanup, whispering among themselves. Only Vanessa remained frozen, her award clutched against her chest like a shield. "This isn't over," she said, voice trembling slightly. "Actually, I think it is." Marcus returned his camera to its case with steady hands. Harrington cleared his throat. "Turner, we should discuss your position adjustment tomorrow." "I'd like that." As they left, Rachel appeared at his side. "That was the most beautiful career suicide I've ever witnessed, until it wasn't." Marcus laughed, tension finally breaking. "I still can't believe it." "I can," she said. "Your work speaks for itself. Always has. We just weren't listening." 6 months later, Marcus adjusted his camera on a rooftop overlooking Manhattan. The Silent Margins issue had broken Westbrook's sales records. His follow-up series on climate change's impact on urban communities had won 2 national awards. "Ready for the staff photo?" Harrington called from behind. "Almost," Marcus replied, no longer intimidated by the man who now introduced him as our rising star. The rooftop door opened, and Vanessa emerged, sunglasses hiding her eyes despite the cloudy day. Her role had been restructured after Lawrence Evans reviewed certain emails mocking junior staff and their backgrounds. "Can we get this over with?" she asked, standing apart from the group. "Places everyone," Marcus directed. As the team assembled, he noticed Lawrence Evans watching from the sidelines, pride evident in his expression. "You've done well," the older man said when Marcus approached. "Thank you for giving me a chance." "I didn't give you anything. You took your chance when you refused to hand over that camera." Evans smiled. "Sometimes talent isn't enough. You need the courage to stand behind it." Marcus nodded, understanding now what his mother had meant when she'd handed him that discarded camera. Years ago. See the world as it is, not as others tell you it should be. Through his viewfinder, Marcus composed the staff photo, everyone in their proper place, including himself, the image perfectly balanced, just like his life had finally become. True vision isn't just about what you see, but having the courage to show others how to see it too. The world rarely makes space for new perspectives. Sometimes you must create that space yourself, even when every instinct tells you to remain invisible. Especially then.